Hello? Just... Hi, Tim. When my nan, Lillian, died and stopped painting, he married Renee, a spinster of Heston. And Renee was a spinster, of course, because her young man hadn't come back from the First World War. He'd been one of the many unlucky ones. I always really liked Renee. She was cool. I used to go and see them because they moved to what they did was they moved to the south coast. When Ern and Lil had gone on holiday, they moved to live. She used to make these most amazing salads. They'd always have like beetroot from a jar and lettuce, tomatoes, and salad cream and crisps, and immense amounts of love. That was the main thing. Immense amounts of love. Another troop ship sailing for another foreign war. I don't want to hear about men dying anymore. I'm glad my hearing's failing. I want to listen in my head to the music between the wars. The music from between the wars. Gotcha! Scream the headlines as another ship goes down. I wonder if they've ever seen the faces of men drowned. Men drowned in muddied wipers. I hear them screaming in my head. Behind the music, between the wars. Behind the music, between the wars. I remember re-enlisting, but I don't remember why. Days spent West End penny busking, nights spent polishing glass eyes. Me and the Rocket Brothers and all those windmill girls, and the music from between the wars, and the music from between the wars. And I remember it was Leipzig when the slogans of the brown shirts were louder than the music of the golden serenaders. And what with Nonny being Jewish, we knew that it was finished. All the music between the wars, the music between the wars. I gave up painting pictures when at last my Lily died. Opened my old suitcase, I burned everything inside. And I married lonely Reenie, and we lived beside the sea, with the music between the wars, all the music between the wars. Now I'm waiting for that troop ship that'll take me overseas. I meant to do so well, my grandson says to me. Yes you did, old man, you played it, and you passed it on to me. The music between the wars, the music between the wars. Close your eyes, cross your fingers. It's Nonny and his golden serenaders. It's in the 1980s and it's a different kind of war. Well, I was just an ordinary, everyday person, trying to be middle class like I should, keeping up with the adverts and the pace with technology, trying to make sense of things I never understood, like the state of the nation, unemployment and inflation. So little things like life and death that I understand. So when she offered me security, I never asked the price we'd pay. I voted for the Barrett home upon the barren land. You think you're part of the family, but you're part of the furniture. When they've had their money's worth, you're out on your ear. You can buy what you already own, or die for what you've never known. So where in the welfare stately home are you, upstairs or downstairs? I remember how me brother, he went went self-employed and bankrupt, and we had to send me mother private for her hip. And I remember royal weddings and forget who got Range Rover down on Maggie's farm, let them eat chips. And I forget how much it cost to keep those Auckland Penguins British and those US bombs on Greenham Common. They don't come cheap, while there's towns of steel, towns of coal, kick their heels upon the dole. Rate Captain phone tap, we're fast asleep. You think you're part of the family, but you're part of the furniture. And when they've had their money's worth, you're out on your errand. You can buy what you already own, or die for what you've never known. So where in the welfare stately home are you, upstairs or downstairs? Took over and they introduced new targets to increase their profit margins, saying times are hard, aren't they always? You can get away with a Murdoch with a letter from your lawyers. So I started looking anxiously for my union card, and what did I discover? I was just like all the others, though I never gave a monkey's when the law was passed. But like the miners, GCHQ, the printers, teachers, me and you, there isn't any difference. We are the working class. Think you're part of the family? Now you're just part of the furniture. And when they've had their money's worth, you're out on your ear. You can buy what you already own, or die for what you've never known. Where in the welfare stately home are you, upstairs or downstairs? They can shove it, they can stick it, and I'll see you on the picket. We'll be doing what we need and sharing what we can on a gyro wage or salary. These are my family, the working woman and the working man. Gyro wage or salary. These are my family, the working woman and the working man. The working woman and the working man. The working woman and the working man. The sun goes down now across the sea. We're homeward bound now and on the duty free. The harbour's quiet, the kids asleep, tired out from Europe on the cheap. There are no poor now, we all have cars. They're parked down below while we talk of the stars. On television, if not the sky. And if the ocean moves us, we don't ask why. Feel the ship slip from the land, but pleased our trip went just like we planned. We see the lights along the shore, not the overworked crew, not the open doors. And in the cold dark sea, our lives go down. In Saybrook Harbour, all night we drown. And the owners grow old, while we all died young. With the blue murder in our lungs. 'Cause the ship we sail, the flag she flies, it is the herald of free enterprise. Well, you can salvage a ship up from the bottom of the sea, recycle pop stars to sing Let It Be, sell the lorries for scrap, whitewash the company, but they can make no more money out of me. And each life lost, much loved, much missed, and all of our lives are on some passenger list. It's too late for Mayday, you sink too fast when profits come first and people come last. 'Cause the ship we sail, the flag she flies, it is the herald of free enterprise. And the ship we sail, the flag she flies, it is the herald of free enterprise. It is the herald of free enterprise. Still on the herald of free enterprise. Neoliberal bastards. Old Lou got cremated last Thursday. There wasn't that much of a crowd, but Len was there from Trades Council, and the wake at the George did her proud. My Stan was away with the fairies. They're off tour in Holland again. But his boyfriend Philippe brought some roses and a bottle of Hungarian champagne. It was Len that read out her last wishes. Lou said, "When I'm gone, then I'm gone. You can do what you like with my ashes. Just make sure the struggle goes on." When I was a girl in the 30s, there were 3 million unemployed men. Now they're selling us shares in what's ours that's now theirs, and there's 3 million jobless again. We don't want cruise missiles at Greenham, and we don't want to get on our bikes. We can't pay and won't pay the poll tax. So I'm not dead, I'm on general strike. What we want is a real revolution. Not buying whatever we're sold, not a place at the middle class table for some. What we want is workers' control. Bugger the bloody statistics, I said. Let's all have a drink and some grub. Then Len led us all in a sing-song when the landlord chucked Lou out the pub. This is one of Lou's favourites. I remember I was walking down the Kingsley Road. I see a man look like I never see a man look like before. I go, Mum, look, there's a black man. Mum goes, shh, he's not black, he's coloured. I'm confused. Aren't we all? Coloured. Well, me, I was born on the NHS. It was African, Cisco water helps me out into the world. Later on I learn about the sugar and the spice, how it was slavery built that nice Tate gallery. And there's brown and black, brown and black, brown and black in the Union Jack. Well, later on there was Billy's down the Kingsley Road, and then the Peking Palace where my nan's only ever ordered fish and chips. But suddenly everywhere wasn't either grey and or closed, and we get Bombay mix, Bombay mix, Bombay mix, and that's as British as fish and chips, and that's Jewish anyway. Brown and black, brown and black, brown and black in the Union Jack. We get the brown and black in the Union, brown and black in the Union, brown and black in the, let's have a rainbow. South or Broadway with the Hounslow NUT, chanting who killed Blair Peach. All together, the police killed Blair Peach. Then I'm the only gorra in the Hammersmith Palais, dancing to Atma Sangeet with my Punjabi sisters. Brown and black, brown and black, brown and black in the Union Jack. As the South All Black sisters used to say, here to dance, here to fight, here to stay. As the South All Black sisters used to say, here to dance, here to fight, here to stay. Brown and black in the Union, brown and black in the Union, brown and black in the Union. Have you seen the photographs of what our boys did on the road to Baghdad? Our heroes and their cluster bombs, it was just like shooting people in the back. And this is what it looks like south of the border. This is what it looks like. The New World Order. The New World Order. Well, you can watch any shit they want. Nightmares all night long, while the dirty work goes on behind the fast food front in the slaughterhouse, the cash crop and the famine. This is what it looks like south of the border. This is what it looks like. The new world order, not in my name. Not in my name. South of the border, nothing's changed. Things been getting worse since the white man came, chopping down the forest and you living in the rubbish and the flies they die like the children in the mountains. And this is what it looks like south of the border. And this is what it looks like. The new world order, not in my name. Not in my name. Not in my name. Not in my name. Woo-hoo. 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 Not in my name. My Uncle Ernie was increasingly not very well. He was a conservative. He loved jazz. I can't think he was very happy with what the Conservatives did in his name. I never volunteered for this. I was just looking after number one. Yeah, I'd always vote Conservative. It's just common sense, old son. And all I ever wanted, I wanted for the best. At the end of the day, a nice little place in the West. I know what being hungry's like. It's always wanting more. And I know what being frightened's like. I was there at Singapore. And all I ever wanted, I wanted for the best. At the end of the day, a nice little place in the West. Yeah, they know me down at Ronnie Scott's. I got my front room cocktail bar, but behind your back, son, at the lodge, they always know just what you are. And all I ever wanted, I wanted for the best. At the end of the day, a nice little place in the West. I didn't volunteer for this. Let's have another gin. That North Circular goes round and round, and those saints keep marching in. And all I ever wanted, I swear I wanted for the best. At the end of the day, a nice little place in the West. At the end of the day, a nice little place in the West. And when those saints go marching in, I wanna be in that number. Oh, when those saints go marching in, I wanna be in that number. I wanna be in that number. I wanna be in that number. At his funeral, he wanted When the Saints Go Marching In, played by Louis Armstrong. At the last minute, I think people forgot that, and they got a beatbox. And either the beatbox didn't work or the cassette was stretched. And it was just so sad. So I've always... Every time I hear it, I always think of him. Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, in the pushchair and over the bridge. Half time you got in for free. There was me granddad, me dad, and then there was me going down the town, over the moon. Saturday afternoon. I remember where we stood, me granddad saying they'll come good. Then be rodin' behind the goal, peering through the wire with me stale cheese roll, going down the town and over the moon. Saturday afternoon. You grow up, you turn round, someone's closed your childhood down. They'll come good, well, we never did, but I remember down the town and over the moon. Saturday afternoon. Me and me dad, now we're both getting on. We're in the seated stands, what's done is done. We have a beer, watch Brentford play. Best mates on a winter's day, going down the town and over the moon. Saturday afternoons, Saturday afternoons, Saturday afternoons, Saturday afternoons. Well, actually existing socialism doesn't anymore, does it? By the 1990s. History's ended. Do you know what? Things get worse. The freedom doesn't increase, exploitation does. Things fall apart. First warnings come along the coast road. We've come full circle in history. The way the wheel does. The cycle starts off in 1914 in Sarajevo. Nearly 100 years later, towards the end of that cork-strewn century, marking the lowest points of nationalism. The graveyards of Europe are filled with results of nationalism. Thanks to a combination of German banks and His Holiness the Pope, the Balkans comes apart at the seams too. It seemed so far away that summer. We took the ferry, spent the first night in somewhere called Trier, where someone called Marx was born once. The next night camped beside the road, the running stream, the freezing cold. All next day through the mountains, then the sunlight really started. What do I remember? The patient oxen, busy markets, pleasant night we spent before we hit the coast road. And what a road it was, a switchback carved in cliff above the sparkling, dazzling blue, with shrines of flowers for every wreck that never made it through. Anyway, that was long ago and far away. The coast road. We drove through names I'd vaguely heard of. Montenegro was a perfect sunset, and crossing bridges full of holes. For Kosovo to reach the border, and in that dusty town I found her, like the last piece of some puzzle. Nothing I could say would move her. Well, maybe it was only too much sun. Anyway, that was long ago and far away. The coast road. had graduated. I cut my hair, I joined the bank, and I scarcely gave a second thought when names I knew were in reports of loans that left them debts to service, freezing wages, public service cuts. And when the wars broke out, we blamed it all on ethnic tensions. Anyway, that was long ago, far away. The coast road. So I don't know why I should remember now a girl I never had, or see the ruins of her face on every TV refugee, or why last night I took a wrong turn through the London of the poor, where what you are is all you have left, and who you are that counts for nothing, and breeding in these ugly suburbs, the slow decay of debt, closure, hostile faces, tribal slogans, and names of a Balkan war. And when I dream the coast road. It's 100 years ago. Europe is a great ship sailing, and the fire breaks out down below. And when the bankers give the orders, we pour petrol on the flames, and then the flames turn into poppies, and so we kiss our sons goodbye. Anyway, that was long ago, far away. On the coast road. Wasn't it? Isn't it? Wasn't it? Isn't it? Wasn't it? Wasn't it? It seemed so far away that summer. Imperialism always has some blowback. Now more than ever. They said we ought to have. They said we ought to have. They said we ought to have. Said we ought to have 3 minutes silence. I thought the dead of 2 world wars only rate 2 minutes. But then most of them didn't speak American. Most of them didn't speak American. They said we ought to have 3 minutes silence. That I could hear There's all these voices screaming. Most of them didn't speak American. Most of them didn't speak American. I heard those voices from Hanoi and Hiroshima. I heard ghost voices from Beirut, ghost voices from Baghdad, and the Secretary of State saying, this is a price worth paying. 500,000 children in Iraq dead from sanctions. It's a price worth paying. They said we ought to have 3-minute silence. Of course, Wall Street when it stopped could only afford 1 minute. Then the $1 million bombs rained down on a poor land where they don't speak American. No more bombs and silences. No more bombs and silences. No more bombs and silences. I think we ought to have a different kind of justice. So you're obviously there, London. So February the 15th, was it? 2003, 2 million people saying absolutely clearly that it was a mistake to attack Iraq. It was an illegal war and nothing good could come of it. And what do you know? There were no weapons of mass destruction. Tony Blair had lied to us. Tony Blair, he lied. Well. I keep seeing us everywhere, as far as the eye can see. It's like some river overflowing. We got Muslims, we got Christians, we got pagans, we got Jews, atheists, anarchists, socialists. We even got a liberal or two. On the day we all said stop the war. On the day we all said stop the war. We got the fears, we got t-shirts, hijabs and rainbow scarves. We got placards that say we're angry. We got placards that make you laugh. We got whistles, badges, banners, 10,000 djembes and a salsa band. We got pensioners, we got pushchairs, arm in arm and hand in hand. On the day we all said stop got tankies, we got trucks, and some got extra sandwiches in case their mates forgot. We got respectable housewives from Isha who've never done this sort of thing before. With the international sex workers of the world united, and the girl and the boy next door. On the day we all said stop the war. On the day we all said stop the war. We got that what's the name from off of the telly. We got that bloke Ahmed called Steve. But we are more than just this 2 million. We are Ramallah and Tel Aviv. We are New York, Paris, Berlin, Moscow, Cape Town, Cairo, Bangkok to Glasgow. It's like some river overflowing. On the day we all said stop the war. On the day we all said stop the war. On the day we all said stop the war. On the day we all said stop the war. I keep seeing this everywhere. I keep seeing us everywhere. Well, that's New York, Paris, Berlin, Moscow, Cape Town, Cairo, Bangkok to Glasgow. Ride the train to work and read the news. The news is bad again, what else is new? The pensioner who's murdered on page 4. 2 more car bombs in a far-off war. But then you see the skyline, the sunlight on the river. Every day it takes your breath away. And you look at all the faces with their stories and their secrets, getting through another working day. And our leaders making speeches, they're very good at making speeches. How our soldiers have to be there, and how we will not surrender. But you never see them riding on your train. You never see them riding on your train. You ride the train back home and read the news. There's not much on TV, what else is new? Beggars hold out hands to catch the night. The smart hotels and cafes shine so bright. Then you see the skyline and the bridges hung with lamplight, and every time it takes your breath away. And you look at all the faces with their stories and their secrets, winding down another working day. And our leaders making speeches, they're very good at making speeches. How our soldiers have to be there, and how we will not surrender. Yes, but you never see them riding on your train. You never see them riding on your train. Then we ride the train to work and read the news. thank your lucky stars it isn't you. It isn't you in Berlin or Madrid, or on the train at King's Cross when the bombs came home, and picking up the pieces, picking up the pieces, picking up the pieces, picking up the pieces. And our leaders making speeches, they're very good at making speeches. How we will not surrender, because our soldiers have to be there. And you never see them riding on your train. No, you never see them riding on your train. No, you never find them riding on your train. When the bombs come home, 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 when the bombs come home. Send another troop ship, pick another side. The sun that never set, the blood that never dried. Fields all full of apples, left rotting where they fall. And we won't be home by Christmas again, after all. See, it was either unemployment or soldier for the Queen. So he'd seen the northwest frontier before he'd seen 19. And there's a stranger in the mirror that hangs in his parents' hall, and he won't be home for Christmas after all. Through that long hard winter, the 4x4s drive by. The doorway that he sleeps in don't keep his nightmares dry. And the fields are full of poppies now, from Ypres to Kabul. And we won't be home by Christmas after all. The survivors sit in silence like the towns along the coast. You never see the damage, and you don't always see the ghosts. But the roads have turned to motorways and our fields to shopping malls. And we won't be home by Christmas after all. Try to find a way back to where it all fell apart, so you could take another turning or maybe make another start. See, all we ever wanted when the winter darkness falls is we'd all be home by Christmas after all. I'm watching the snowflakes, those beautiful girls. See how they pirouette, dance and swirl. They're gone when you touch them. This world has its faults, but my mother taught me how to waltz. My mother taught me how to waltz. Well, she taught me to glide and to count 1, 2, 3 for those beautiful girls she thought would be waiting for me to ask them to dance. This world has its faults, but my mother taught me how to waltz. My mother taught me how to waltz. 'Course by the time I grew up, it was all gone forever. Those beautiful girls went to discos where everyone danced round each other, then shagged in the car park. And my mother taught me how to waltz. My mother taught me how to waltz. It's good for a dance, fingers. Now I've a wife and 2 children, and everything's fine. I can get through most days on a bottle of wine, and I'm watching the snowflakes. This world has its faults, but my mother taught me how to waltz. My mother taught me how to waltz. My mother. So, sometimes you wonder, all that welfare state, what did it do? What did it do if it couldn't see off the liberal, the neoliberals, when they came back with their poisoned apples? So, I was thinking about this when I was going to see Bogner play, and I stopped off at the wheat sheaf on the way to the ground, and guess what? In the wheat sheaf, you will not believe this, there was Tony Smith. Do you remember Tony Smith? He was the duly elected shop steward for Nobby's class, who appeared in part 2 of this. And I said, Tony, what are you doing here? He said, well, don't ask, he said. And I said, I've got to ask. One thing I've got to ask. Did you marry Dawn, the Julie Christie of Nobby's class? He said, yes, I did, yes. I did marry Dawn, the Julie Christie of Nobby's class. So it wasn't all a waste of time then. No, he said, no. Probably not. My old man was a bargee. He worked Brentford docks, when the only thing not rationed was the holes inside your socks. I once went to the seaside when I was maybe 7, and I hoped that when I died that I'd go there instead of heaven. Now I call into the wheat sheaf for a beer before the game, and there's football screens on every wall, but the football's much the same. You see the boys stand to attention if they play God Save the Queen. And the girls have kids and tattoos twice before they're 17 these days. Who knows who buggered Bognor up so these days? Who knows who buggered Bognor up so? Well, my old man, yeah, he was a bargee, but the docks had their time. So I worked at the Firestones factory till it closed in 79. United Biscuits went next, and now Gillette's gone too. It's all posh flats by the river now, pretending they're in queue. When me and Dawn got married, we did Butlins once a year. Me and Dawn and our Darren doing chips on Bognor Pier. Darren joined the army, not all of him came back, so he brought up his daughter Daisy while he overdosed on crack these days. Who knows who buggered Bognor up so these days? Who knows who buggered Bognor up so? Well, we had to buy our council house, thanks to the right to buy. Well, we've been down here on holiday, why not come down here to die? For Ardua ad Astra, old Nobby used to say. Well, we got as far as Butlins, then they took the stars away. There used to be this bookshop, I get stuff second hand. Dawn, God rest her soul, she had her collectibles, nothing grand. Darren had his Brentford programmes. Anyhow, you can give the lot to a charity shop, 'cause we're all worth nothing now these days. Who knows who buggered Bognor up so these days? Who knows who buggered Bognor up so? Well, kids leave school worth nothing now. They don't know who to blame. They're still there at the wheat sheaf on my way home from the game. Daisy brings her boys now twice a year for a takeaway on Father's Day and chips on Bognor Pier. Now it's all good morning Britain now, good night question time. Your Christmas fools and horses, your Morses solving crime. But down here in the real world, yeah, down here with the rooks, some bastard buggers Bognor and grows holes inside your socks these days. Who knows who buggered Bognor up so these days? Who knows who buggered Bognor up so? Who buggered Bognor up so? funnily enough, right, the next time I went to see Brentford, I'm just popping in the Beehive because I'm a bit late, so I'm not meeting everybody as usual, just popping in the Beehive for an ESB. Because that is. Guess who's there? Darren's daughter Daisy. So how's it going? She goes, if it isn't one thing, it's another. The money never lasts the 7 days. First there was the dole, now there's austerity. It means they take your benefits away. Lily's busy selling handbags. Tracy's famous for her unmade bed. Postmodernism's busy going nowhere. You're going down the pound shop with your kids. Slow progress. Slow progress. Slow progress. Slow progress. You take the kids for story at the library, past the paddling pool that's now closed down. What with the expense and health and safety, and all those syringes children found. Slow progress. Slow progress. They've gone and built a brand new shopping centre. Children learn computers now at school. Everything is brand new with new labour, but they couldn't even run a paddling pool. Slow progress. Yes, if it isn't one thing, it's another. The factories closed along the Great West Road. We're all 2 paydays away from being homeless, and the rent needs paying everywhere you go. Slow progress. Slow progress. Slow progress. When I was a kid, Inwood Park paddling pool was just paradise. It's the bluest blue I'd ever seen. And by the time our children were that age, it had been closed down. Literally, they couldn't even run a paddling pool. No wonder people started looking elsewhere. It's the Tory party conference and they're up on their hind legs. They're up on their hind legs. They're up on their hind legs. Hip hip says Mr. Murdoch. Pip pip says Master Click. Pip pip says Master Click. Pip pip says Master Click. And it's all eyes right. It's the cream of the nation and they're thick, rich, white. All eyes right. It's the cream of the nation, thick, rich, white. Well, up jumps Boris Bunter and he says, we need more laws. He says, we need more laws. He says, we need more laws. Laws protecting tuck shops and laws to kick the poor. More laws to kick the poor. Let's have more laws to kick the poor. And it's all eyes right. It's the cream of the nation, thick, rich, white. All eyes right. It's the cream of the nation, thick, rich, white. Well, up jumps Ozzy Osbourne. He's really paranoid. He's cocaine paranoid. Oh, he's really paranoid. He goes, cock up at the tuck shop. Better sack the unemployed. Sack the unemployed. Sack the unemployed. And it's all eyes right. white. All eyes right. It's the cream of the nation, thick, rich, white. Then up comes little Govey. Hear the Govey squeak, squeak, squeak. Little Govey squeak, squeak, squeak. Govey squeak, squeak, squeak. He says, we need to have more Latin and we need to learn more Greek. A Mo, a Mass, a Murdoch. Hear the Govey squeak, squeak, squeak. And it's all eyes right. It's the cream of the nation and they're thick, rich, white. And it's all eyes right. It's the cream of the nation, thick, rich, white. Now up comes Dave the head boy. He's worth a bob or two. Oh, he's worth a bob or two. Yes, he's worth a bob or two. Course he's never had a proper job, and soon you won't have one too. Soon you won't have one too. Oh, you won't have one too. And it's all eyes right. It's the cream of the nation and they're thick, rich, white. Yes, it's all eyes right. It's the cream of the nation, thick, rich, white. It's the cream of the nation, thick, rich, white. It's the cream of the nation, thick, rich, white. Within a year, cops shot Mark Duggan on a Thursday night. When their family asked why, they never said a word. When they still said nothing, Saturday night, Tottenham burned. Tottenham burned. Cops stood and watched as the flames took hold. Chavs and gangsters, let them all burn. But the flames spread out of their control. When Tottenham burned. When Tottenham burned. When Tottenham burned. Tottenham burned. When the flames spread north, south, east, west. Any place where the future's just a mobile phone. And the shop's full of shit that no one can afford anymore. Well, Tottenham burned. Everywhere burned. When Tottenham burned, they also burned. Well, you try living on a minimum wage. How little you're worth, how little you earn. Faces of the poor finally made the front page. Tottenham burned. Tottenham burned. Tottenham burned. Tottenham burned. And the fire took Trevor Ellis, Richard Bowes and Shazad Ali. Abdul Musharraf, Harun Jahan. Boris Johnson flew home eventually when Tottenham burned. Tottenham burned. 6 months in prison for taking some water. 5 months in prison for keeping some clothes. They all slept safe and sound in Eton when Tottenham burned. 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 Cops shot Mark Duggan on a Thursday night. Welcome home, boys, to a land fit for privilege. A land fit for privilege, where all offshore millionaires, the Bullingdon old boys, will make the poor pay. A land fit for privilege is waiting for you. Make the poor pay. Turn back the clock. New bottles, old vinegar. New labour, old cock. Run down and dumb down. Pay peanuts, get monkeys. Cut back and crack down on benefit junkies. Welcome home, boys, to a land fit for privilege, a land fit for privilege, where all offshore millionaires, the Bullingdon old boys, will make the poor pay. A land fit for privilege is waiting for you. Sell them celebrity, let them watch cake, while we carve up what's left of their old welfare state. Wheel out the poppies, one war or two, a nice little profit? I don't mind if I do. Welcome home, boys, to a land fit for privilege, a land fit for privilege, where all offshore millionaires, the Bullingdon old boys, will make the poor pay. A land fit for privilege is waiting for you. So there you are. 154813. Pick up your poems and pack up your smile. It's the 91st minute. There's no time to fly. Fold up your wings, son, and wait for the sky. Fold up your wings, son, and wait for the sky. Fold up your wings, son. The wind blows hard down Hounslow High Street. I've got this book called Harold the Hare, and in my other hand I hold my father's hand, and his long coat flaps in the autumn air. I'm 3 years old, my father's 36. He smokes a pipe and wears a moustache. He walks so fast I can't keep up with him, but he holds my hand so I don't get lost. I hold my son's hand on Witten High Street. I got this old coat I still wear, and in my other hand I hold my father's hand. If you look really closely, if you look really closely, if you look really closely, you can see the wind blows hard down Witten High Street. I hold this book called Harold the Hare, and in my other hand I hold my father's hand. If you look really closely, we're still there. When I was 4, you wrapped me up, helped me mend my car. When I was 8, we'd take the bus to the Odeon cinema. And coming back from the longest day, you gently pointed out all those who died behind John Wayne had been real people once. You You asked me clever questions when I didn't get things right. You poured me endless whiskies, let me talk complete bollocks all night. My first union meeting, my second electric guitar. Through the wreckage of all my relationships, you were as constant as the stars. I didn't want to be like you though, with a briefcase, suit and tie, to play the game respectfully, my face turned from the sky, but I'd never seen it falling, had I wonder where love comes from. Your dad was hardly there. Well, I thank you for the sunflowers and the poems that you shared, and they're bringing back the monsters now that your generation slew. I think the real giants, Dad, were goalkeepers like you, and sit with you in hospitals. The silence was okay, or we talk about the football when there was nothing else to say. When the doctor offered you an extra month or so of extra time when the game was lost, you thanked him politely and said no. Though time has taken us apart, the clock beyond repair, I don't need to see the stars to know the stars are there. Time has taken us apart, and the clock's beyond repair. I don't need to see the stars to know the stars are there. Yes, well, I think we've got another statement to issue from, yes, in the interests of democracy, we are featuring in our broadcast. Hello, this is a message from the Daltrey and Clapton branch of the UK Independence Party. Toby Utterswine speaking. We insist on our democratic right to have our democratic song. All you need is tweed, grammar schools and on-the-spot repatriation for anyone whose nan weren't born in Kent, included in this broadcast. But unfortunately, we have hit a few snacks. Barry, Gary and Larry had a bit of a falling out over the finer points of party policy, whether it was the Poles, the gays or the Muslims responsible for last Tuesday's 5-0 England defeat by Liechtenstein. And unfortunately, Terry didn't get bail again either. Nevertheless, Nigel and I decided to carry on Dunkirk spirit with Dominic driving. We weren't exactly sure where the studio was, but we carried on anyway, and now we're not exactly sure where we are. But we're carrying on. We're trying to carry on again, and we're going to be standing up for our British way of life, our British way of life, our British way of life. English beer, English sausages, English sprouts, English bananas. Always assuming Terry's appeal comes through and Larry gets out of hospital without forming another party again. So, just remember, all we need is tweed, grammar schools, and on-the-spot repatriation for anyone whose nan weren't born in Kent. And you'll get once we get our borders back and blue passports, we can start the repatriations. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Nigel. Sorry. Got carried away there. Sorry. Sorry, Nigel. Sorry. What would you like for Christmas? What would you like for Christmas? What would you like for Christmas? Snow would be nice for a change. I wrote to Santa, but he just wrote back, my budget's been cut and I've just got the sack. To me that's a bit like politics. It would be nice for a change if you could vote for what you want to vote for instead of just more of the same. So I'm voting Jeremy Corbyn. I'm voting Jeremy C. I like his ideas, they're fair and they're clear. Jezza and me, we agree. We're all for peace and justice and anti-austerity. I'm voting Jeremy Corbyn, JC, for PM for me. Well, I'd like no one being homeless. Good jobs and fair pay for all. No fracking tried, I'd rather we spent our money on hospitals, houses and schools. And I don't want hate or humbug. What good is that gonna do? I'd like to vote for us sharing the pudding, not stuffing all year for a few. So I'm voting Jeremy Corbyn. I'm voting Jeremy C. I like his ideas, they're fair and they're clear. Jezza and me, we agree. We're all for peace and justice and anti-austerity. I'm voting Jeremy Corbyn, JC for PM for me. Yeah, we're voting Jeremy Corbyn. We're voting Jeremy C. We like his ideas, they're fair and they're clear. Jezza and me, we agree. We're all for peace and justice and anti-austerity. We're voting Jeremy Corbyn, JC for PM for me. Voting Jeremy Corbyn, JC for PM for me. We're voting Jeremy Corbyn, even if he's not on the ballot paper. JC for PM for me. Yeah. The Herald of Free Enterprise. The Hillsborough disaster as well. And this is what happens when you put profits before people. The Minister of Profit stated categorically, you can make a lot more profit without health and safety, building rules and regulations, all that bother, all that fuss. If the worst ever happens, it won't be happening to us. And the Lord Mayor of Diningwell, he will not be moved. He's closing down fire stations so the service will improve. He's restructured worse conditions. He's reorganised worse pay. And if the worst ever happens, he's pretty sure he'll be okay. And the councillors of Kensington, the KCPMO, well, they like to call them properties. people call them hoves. They won't go into details like complaints and smoke alarms. And if the worst ever happens, they're pretty sure they'll be unharmed. So when the worst ever happened, on the 14th day of June, spark on the 4th floor, all too soon. Flames run through the cladding, meant to make the place look nice. And the worst ever happened, 'cause it was cheap at half the price. Streaming true, blue, murder. Streaming true, blue, murder. People help their neighbours, that's what people do. Fire crews climb the burning tower, that's what fire crews do. Death toll spiraled higher, like the smoke into the night. And when the worst ever happened, guess who thought they'd be alright? Yeah. The ministers of fire trap, the ministers agree. The councillors of millionaires and empty properties. And it's 3 years later, they're clinging onto power, and there's still no justice for Grenfell Tower. Screaming true, blue, murder. Screaming true, Tory blue, murder. And we're numbering your days in the memory and the name of Grenfell Tower. It was so close. So close. So close. So close. Well, you've been running through the wheat fields with your strong and stable shoes, trampling down the roses that for generations grew, with your kitten heels and diamond heels and all your chains of power. But the summertime is coming. Yeah, the summertime is coming. Whoa, the summertime is coming. And the harvest will be ours. And the harvest will be ours. Well, all you bully boys of Oxford town, you throw your weight around with your offshores and your pig's head, your pack of vicious hounds. From Liverpool to Libya, you turned all the water sour. But summertime is coming. Yeah, the summertime is coming. Oh, the summertime is coming. And the harvest will be ours. And the harvest will be ours. All you hypocrites and parasites that lick the ruling class, soon all your words of winter will with white noise while the streets fill up with flowers. 'Cause the summertime is coming. Oh, the summertime is coming. Yeah, the summertime is coming. The harvest will be. Way of having work to do, 'cause the summertime is coming. Oh yeah, 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 the summertime is coming. Yeah, 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 the summertime is coming. And the harvest will be out. The harvest will be out. The harvest will be out. Harvest will be ours. Just not this year. Just not this year. Just not this year. Blue light throws a shadow on a crumbling red brick wall. The ambulance a good 10 years too late. Well, what did you expect the rain to do except to fall? What did you expect? She'd always wait. Tell her, there, it's alright. You'll get lucky come election night. They promise you Beyonce, George Formby's dead and gone, and that compensation never did come through. So you're knocking back Prosecco with asbestos in your lungs. What did you expect? She'd wait for you. I told you not to call me here. Alright. You'll get lucky come election night. Blue light on a red brick wall. Blue light on a red brick wall. Oh, he's a smart boy in a clever suit, with his pockets full of fists. He knows the way the wind blows, don't ask why. He knows just where her body bruises, which 3 words will do the trick. He offers her a true blue alibi. He'll teach that bitch what grateful means, alright. He'll get lucky come election night. Blue light on a red brick wall. 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 And the ambulance, a good 10 years too late. Now I can't remember what I had for tea, but Henry Robert Jenner made the garden grow for me. When he had the cancer, I did all I could do. When he died, I never took communion again. Pretty maids in jam jars, soldier boys in tin cans, Kitty, Meg and Rogie, Ron and Bet at number 6, primroses and anemones, dancing round the sun. Got engaged on Christmas Day, 1944. February the 20th, J. Johnny got shot down. Our son was born on Christmas Day, 1955. In thunderstorms, our little dog would hide beneath his cot. Pretty maids in jam jars, soldier boys in tin cans, Kitty, Meg and Rogie, Ron and Bet at number 6, primroses and anemones, dancing round the sun. When I got my MBE, my husband was so proud for me. Now I miss him every day. I feed the seagulls bread. One is for the son we had, 2 my lovely grandsons, 3 girls for my mum and dad, 4 cheers for the NHS. Pretty maids in jam jars, soldier boys in tin cans, Kitty, Meg and Rogie, Ron and Bet at number 6, primroses and anemones. primroses and anemones, dancing round the sun. When I was a child, there seemed to be like 2 places you went to on a Sunday, sometimes a Saturday as well. 24 Colwyn Crescent. That was where Betty had lived, with Henry Robert and Elsie. Elsie. I have this photograph of me and her and a polar bear on Bognor Pier. It's unbelievable. 24 Colwyn Crescent. Maybe a couple of miles away, passing the Hestonmore Memorial. You couldn't escape passing the Hestonmore Memorial. The saddest stone soldier you could imagine. You come to 42 Summerhouse Avenue. That's where Ern and Lil lived, with an apple tree, and never had apples like that. Maybe it's the last surviving apple tree from the orchards that once would have covered that whole area. Henry Robert wore a trilby hat, smoked cigarettes, and his skin was yellow. He probably voted Conservative, but he was the kindest chap you could imagine. He used to go fishing to avoid spending time with my grandmother, I think. And Ern, that was his banjo there. That was his banjo, made before 1917 when they stopped making banjos because they needed all the metal they could have to kill Germans with. Flat cap, smoked a pipe, rode a bike. Yeah, Henry Robert had a car. I sometimes dream about the gardens. I drive past your houses, but I wait outside. I imagine your roses have all long since died. All those long shadows, the joy in your pride was making your gardens grow again. So much has changed here since you've been gone. The evening has fallen, but we carry on. We learn a new language, but we sing the same song, making the gardens grow again. Making the gardens grow, making the gardens grow, making the gardens grow again. Making the gardens grow, making the gardens grow, making the gardens grow again. Turn on the headlights, the night's full of rain. How shall I remember you? The loss and the pain, but also a sunset with 2 gentlemen. Making the gardens grow again. Making the gardens grow, making the gardens grow, making the gardens grow again. This is the point where Roy Bailey would say, you sing it. Go on. say that was lovely. Let's do it together now. Making the gardens grow, making the gardens grow, making the gardens grow again. Making the gardens grow, making the gardens grow, making the gardens grow again. So, are we downhearted? A little bit, obviously. Things could have been so much better. Nonetheless, they're totally bankrupt. It's ours to win. And when we called the ambulance for my mum the last time, because she'd refused a cup of tea, so we knew it was serious. The ambulances were great. While I waited for the ambulance, she suddenly pointed over my shoulder at the photograph of my dad and laughed like a little girl. And she pointed at me and laughed as well, which was a bit disconcerting. I like to think she was happy. On balance. The things we didn't mention, they're maybe not important. Beating in the barracks that left the scars that maybe killed me. I didn't go to Cambridge, instead I chose to be a teacher. My son wrote this song for me on an old guitar from Germany. From Germany. They thought that we were beaten, but we were only broken. Gathering together all the pieces we could find. They thought that we'd forgotten anything that's broken we can put together again in time with our love for one another. You want to know what flew the bombers? Why young men climbed into those coffins after night and never coming back from all those burning cities, a fire we never started. We thought we'd make things better when the war was over with. our love for one another. And we did. And we did. They thought that we were beaten. Together again in time with our love for one another. And we did. We did, and we will. For every funeral in the morning, there's a neighbour being born. Hold the door, we're coming through. Through the evening and the darkness, and the starlight before the dawn. Hold the door, we're coming through. When the sky was falling, who keeps the sky from falling? As you do. Ordinary giants. Ordinary giants. Ordinary giants. Much like me and you. Well, you'll have seen us with the charter. You'll have seen us stop the war. Hold the door, we're coming through. We're the flowers in the garden of all the work that went before. Hold the door, we're coming through. When the sky is falling, who keeps the sky from falling? As you do. Ordinary giants. Ordinary giants. Ordinary giants. Much like me and you. Well, of course it takes forever, but one day we'll all get there. Hold the door, we're coming through. When the war is over and the peace has been declared, hold the door, we're coming through. When the sky is falling, who keeps the sky from falling? As you do. Ordinary giants. Ordinary giants. Ordinary giants. Much like me and you. With our children on our shoulders, this is how we touch the sky. Hold the door, we're coming through. We will give them wings and they will learn to fly. Hold the door, we're coming through. When the sky is falling, who keeps the sky from falling? As you do. Ordinary giants. Ordinary ordinary giants, much like me and you, all together with our children on our shoulders. This is how we touch the sky. We will give them wings and they will learn to fly. When the sky is falling, who keeps the sky from falling? As you do. Ordinary giants. Ordinary giants. Ordinary giants. Much like me and you. That's ordinary giants. Ordinary giants. Ordinary giants. Much like me and you. Much like me and you. That's the end. Thank you very much. I hope you've had a good ride through the family history of the last 130 years. Hope it's been good for you. If anybody's done all three sections, well done. Thank you very much for your company. Even if you've just done one or two, thank you. It's a pleasure to have someone to sing to. Otherwise, it's just a cat and he's in a box over there now. And the guinea pigs, I mean, they can't clap. Their little hands are too small. So, thank you. There's not going to be a Hove Palladium next Sunday. Possibly we might be in France or not. But I just thought maybe you've probably got things to do as well. But there is one in a fortnight's time, which we hope you might feel like joining. It's a ticket-only event. It's a gig. It's a gig, man. It's a Zoom gig. It's the Irregulars making a racket. 12 songs and one encore. Something old, something new, something borrowed. That's my guitar playing, and something blue. Lots of blue references in these songs. We'd like to buy tickets in advance because I've had to pay for the studio where we recorded the songs, where Ali filmed us, and I've got to pay Ali as well. And it's a gig, and I like to think that at a gig, people who play, everybody gets the same amount of money. I've got this kind of principle that whoever does the gig, we share the money, take the expenses out. Well, the expenses in this case are the recording, and so then I can share the money between me, John Forrester, who, you know, he's been furloughed, Arvin, he's a student, and also Alison, because she's going to be doing the sound and clever stuff. We all do the work, and me as well. So we'll split it 4 ways. So it'd be really nice if you buy tickets in advance. It's Zoom, so maybe you can chat to each other like it's a real gig. And it's in 2 weeks' time, so it'll give you a chance to maybe clear your diaries. And after that, probably there'll be a week off, unless you really want a... And then on September the first Sunday, September the 7th, is it? 5th, 6th, September the 6th. We're going to have a celebration of the release of the album Pandemic Songs, which... Here it is. Here it is. And then loads in those boxes there. It's being officially released on the Friday the 4th. You should be able to get it from any good record shops because Cargo are distributing. And so I'd like to do a Hove Palladium featuring that album. And I'd like to leave you with this song. Leave you with this song. I'm almost sounding professional. I'd like to leave you with this song. Fuck off, Rob. I'm going to do one more song. This is the penultimate song from the album. Thank you very much for the pleasure of your company. I never play this live, obviously. For now, the reptiles still make the loudest sound, rejoicing in their trees, defending their right to life with a song. Humans murmur at the edges, waking from their long winter hibernation with all their ludicrous vanity intact, bringing with them tubular aluminium folding picnic chairs, expensive minuscule cups of disposable cardboard coffee, elaborate ergonomic empty children's buggies. Somehow you're still here. And somehow I'm still there. Halfway through the year. In Palmyra Square. The escaped child totters happily across the grass. She holds the world carefully in both hands, a blue ball. She laughs and melts away, absorbed by the blossom of the feral flower beds and the laughter of the seagulls overhead. For now the trafficking is a rare and distant snarl, a passing susurration, and the summer breeze blows us kisses. Nothing but kisses. Somehow you're still here. Somehow I'm still there. Halfway through this year. More than. In Palmyra Square. Ah, here comes human purpose, diagonal, oblivious, striding across the square, mobile, soldered to the side of his head, talking loudly to himself, making plans, ordering dinner. Watch out, reptiles. Homo erectus is on his hind legs again, and as far as he's concerned, singing's for the birds. But I do my best to hope, despite the shambles and the lies, there are more things to admire in us than there are to despise. And somehow you're still here. And somehow I'm still there. Halfway through the year. In Palmyra Square. Somehow you're still here. Somehow I'm still there. Getting through this year. And in Palmyra Square. Keep safe. Still be there. See ya. Wow, fuck me. What do I do, boss?